Hi guys, welcome to the Reach and Inspire podcast. This is Urenna, your host. Today, we're going to be discussing why you need to leave your comfort zone. If you're someone that is scared of the unknown, but you know deep down that you have so much more to offer in life, then this episode is for you. Listen in and enjoy. Hi guys, welcome to the Reach and Inspire podcast. I'm your host, Urenna. Today I'm going to be talking about stepping out of your comfort zone. Basically, why you need to leave your comfort zone. Now I know a lot has been said about this, but I hope I can add my own 2 cents to the conversation based on my experience. But first of all, I want to share what I'm thankful for. Today, I'm thankful for my health. It may seem a bit cliche, but one thing that this virus has done is make us be more aware of our health status. We now know, obviously, that you can still have a serious form of the virus, even if you're otherwise healthy. But chances are it will be a lot worse if you have an underlying health condition. So today I'm just thankful that my health is good and I don't have any obvious problems or illnesses. Obviously, I could always do with being a bit more healthy, but hey ho. Right, so to today's topic, I want to talk about stepping out of your comfort zone. Now, it's been said that when life gives you lemons, you should make lemonade. And these days I look around and it's amazing how many people I see making the figurative lemonade out of this hand of lemons that we've all been dealt. I think it's great that so many of us are trying out new things in this season. Small businesses are springing up online, community networks are being built, people are teaching others and sharing their knowledge, and others are just learning new skills. And you can see that all around, most people are just trying to make the most of this season. It's almost like we've suddenly realized, what have I got to lose? And that's great. For a lot of us, though, what this means is that we're having to leave the comfort of what we're familiar with and step out into something different. Some of us have been forced to. You know, for example, if you suddenly find yourself out of work, you may have to think about other ways to make money. I recently read about a pilot that was now working as a Tesco, that's a grocery store, a Tesco delivery driver. I mean, you just have to do whatever you can to put food on the table. But one thing I really love is that I'm seeing a lot of people really step out and into the forefront, to use their voices or their skills to help others. I'm seeing friends that are usually silent on social media decide to be more open to sharing their experiences and insights for others to learn from. I was talking to a friend recently and she was she's thinking of starting a series of inspirational chats with women online to strengthen, encourage, and learn from each other. And as I listened to her, she shared her fears on being visible and putting herself out there online. And I just encouraged her to go for it because I've been there. Like, I know what it's like. Anyone that really knows me actually knows that I'm not really a social media or, I'm not that person, but over the years, I've just realized that actually I have got something to say. And a lot of people, there's so much out there. There's so much noise out there. And I just really felt strongly that people need to hear the right, the right message. And it was important that, I had my voice heard. So I had to start, putting my fears to the side and my insecurities and my worries and concerns about, putting myself out there. I had to put that to the side because I felt like it was more important, the message that I had to share. So, in terms of my friend, I'm just really excited to see what happens with that because I think it's a fantastic platform, a fantastic idea. Now, I'm not saying that, everyone has to jump on the bandwagon and do one thing or the other. We need to recognize what season we're in. You need to recognize for yourself, what season you're in. I think there's a temptation to just keep doing and doing and doing everything, and it's important, like I shared in the first episode, that we take a break, that we rest, because we don't do that nearly enough. But I do think that many of us have so much to give in life, but we're just too scared to share it. We'd rather just stay in the comfort of our own little world, trudging along day by day so that we don't cause any offense, or maybe because we just think doing anything more is just too much effort. Life is crazy enough as it is. Life is busy enough as it is. So that's fair enough. I completely understand and I sympathize with that. But today I just want to encourage you to step out of your comfort zone, and I'll share 3 reasons why. There's many more reasons, but I'm just going to share 3 on this episode. So the first reason is the world needs you. The world needs your voice, your skills, your words. The world needs to hear what you have to say. Believe it or not, the world needs to read that book or hear that song or use that product. And especially as Christians, I believe that we all have a specific part to play in God's big plan for mankind. If you're a Christian, you're God's hands and feet here on earth, to fulfill his plan and his purpose. And that can only happen if we play our individual parts. Don't worry if you're not the most intelligent, or you think you're not the most intelligent or the richest or the most eloquent. I strongly believe that we all have gifts and talents that God has placed in us, and we just need to recognize them and put them to use. Okay, so that's the first point, really. The world needs you. Okay. The second point is the sense of fulfillment and purpose that you get when you step out of your comfort zone and do something different and do something that you should be doing. If you're anything like me, you've probably spent many a time trying to figure out what to do with your life. And that's because we were created for purpose. We weren't just created to go through life aimlessly, just living from day to day with no sense of purpose. So we were created for purpose. And I think when we figure out what that is, then it really gives our life meaning. Life can be so draining at times, but knowing that you're fulfilling purpose, or that you're doing what you were created to do, gives us that boost that we sometimes need. And I have to just say something here, because I think I spent a long part of my life just trying to figure out, God, what am I supposed to do with my life? And I think it's important to just share that there's not necessarily, not for most people anyway, there's not necessarily like one thing that you're supposed to do with your life. I think especially as Christians, if we're living a life of service to God, like wherever he's placed us, wherever he's called us to be, I think if we're living a life of service to God and mankind, and if we're staying close to God in terms of prayer and reading the Bible and regularly communing with God, then he leads us, he orders our footsteps, And he basically leads us into what his plan and his purpose for our life is. I don't think we need to worry like chasing purpose per se, but I think wherever you are called to be, being fully there, being fully present, I think that is definitely one way that we fulfill purpose as Christians. But in addition to that, I think, prayer as well, just asking God, what are you calling me to do? What are those skills that you have placed in my life? The gifts, the talents. I'll probably do another episode about, discovering your purpose or your calling. And I think for me, it's a continuous journey. Even doing this podcast is part of me discovering, what God has placed within me or what God has called me to do is it's a lifelong journey probably. But the point is, there is a sense of fulfillment and purpose when you step out of your comfort zone, when you step out and do something that might seem scary initially, but you're supposed to be doing. And I just think that it's a feeling, and it's not just about feelings, obviously, but there's just something about knowing that, okay, I'm doing what I was placed on earth to do. Okay, so the third point that I want to share is another reason why you should step out of your comfort zone, why you should leave your comfort zone, is that you can live a life without regret. Okay, I heard someone say it's better to say at least I tried instead of, what if I'd done, XYZ. As Christians, the ultimate praise we want to get is from God telling us, well done, good and faithful servant. And the fact is, none of us know how long we have here on earth. And really, it's not about how long, I guess, but how well. And when we think about how well, it's pretty much what have you done with your life. And it's not to make anyone feel guilty. It's not to make you feel guilty. But it's just that you don't want to get to the end of your life, whenever that might be, and be thinking, oh, I wish I'd done this, or I wish I'd done that. And I'm not even saying, oh, I wish I'd, discovered a vaccine or whatever. I don't know why I just said vaccine. Obviously, coronavirus is on my mind, but it's not about, oh, I wish I did XYZ to save the world. It could be as simple as, oh, I wish I, spent more time telling people, encouraging people, or I wish I, used my voice more, with singing, or even use my voice more to speak up for the marginalized, or, to speak up for justice. So yeah, I just think no one wants to get to the end of their life thinking, I wish I'd done this. So yeah, that's the third point. I'm just going to give 3 points. Like I said, there's so many more reasons why, but I hope that at least those 3 points give you food for thought. And then before I finish, I just want to share a quick story from the Bible. In the Bible, there's a story of Jesus walking on water, which you may or may not be familiar with. In the story, the disciples are in a boat, and they see what they initially think is a ghost, but actually it's Jesus walking on water. And you can find the story in Matthew chapter 14 from verse 22 to 33. So they're in the boat and Jesus is walking on water, and they're doubting if it's actually Jesus. And then Peter asks Jesus to tell him to come to him on the water, so to prove that it's really Jesus himself. And Jesus does just that. He asks Peter to come, and as Peter steps out of the boat, he begins to walk on water. And Peter then takes his eyes off Jesus and starts to focus on the storm, and he begins to sink before Jesus saves him. But the fact is, Peter stepped out of the boat and he walked on water. No one else, none of the other disciples can actually say that they were able to walk on water. Okay. They chose to stay in the comfort of the boat, in the comfort of the familiar, of what they knew. But Peter, stepped out of the boat and he was able to walk on water. That was an amazing feat, so to speak. And, just like the other disciples, a lot of us are like that. We let fear, maybe fear of failure or fear of what people might think of us, prevent us from doing what we know we should be doing. I feel like this situation we've all found ourselves in has given us an opportunity to step out of our metaphorical boats, our comfort zone. It could be our jobs, it could be a relationship, it could be whatever that we are holding on to, like a security blanket almost. It's made us step out, or given us the opportunity to step out into what we are supposed to be doing with our lives. God has so much in store for us, so much that he wants to do through us whilst we're here on earth. And I think it's time for us to leave the comfort of what we know and really just embrace the life that God has in store for us, or the life that God wants for us. So my challenge for you today is this: write down 3 things you've always wanted to do in life. It could be to learn a new skill. It could be to get a degree, maybe to start a blog or a small business. It could be to write a book or to join a choir. Anything. It could be something even smaller than that. Then I want you to pick one of those things and then just do one thing this week that takes you closer to achieving that dream. Okay, so for example, if you wanted to learn a new skill, the one thing that you do could be signing up for a course. Or if you wanted to start an online business or a blog, you could buy a domain name. Okay, or it could be even a smaller step than that. That's just, an example. So take one step towards reaching that goal or achieving that dream. And if you do that, then if you could please let me know. I would love to hear what you did. And that's pretty much the end of today's episode. That's just what I wanted to share. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, then don't forget to subscribe, share, rate the podcast so that others can get to hear it as well. Thank you and God bless.